Welcome back, everybody. It's Mark with exoticcarplayplace today. And what do we have here? A brand new 2018 BMW M5. And I'd like to thank my friend Jeff Quick of Edmonton BMW. He's made this all possible. Jeff, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, Mark, it's a beautiful car, beautiful new redesign. We're obviously happy to be showcasing it at our dealership, and we're happy to facilitate the videos for you, and we're gonna have a lot of fun today.
Sounds great. And so today we're just going to do some interior specification review, talk about some of the newer updates of the car. Okay, well, again, thanks for having me. Now let's talk about some of the interior features. How about some of the ergonomics, like the dash and the iDrive system in these cars? How has that changed?
So, Mark, lots of changes in this new redesign. Obviously, full digital instrument panel, coupled with our new iDrive and a larger screen on the new M5. Absolute beautiful design to look at. Of course, as you change your different settings, so too will the displays change. But very, very sporty cockpit layout, and it's really nice to look at.
Yeah, I have to say that you know, I know Audi's sort of led the game a little bit there for a while on the digital dashes, but I see BMW's right there, and these gauges are certainly a pleasure to look at. You know, they're very realistic, but it's the way of the future, and certainly they're right there too.
Yeah, you talk about the future. I mean, the way that this instrument panel and cluster pairs up with the new heads-up display as well, and maybe we'll get a shot of that later, but the heads-up display has been also tweaked so that it's a little bit easier to read, and it's a little bit more sporty now. So
perfect. And then what can you tell me about the M-Drive or iDrive system in these cars?
So the iDrive, it's been slowly getting progressively better and easier to manipulate, a little bit more user-friendly, obviously. Our iDrive has been one of the leaders in the industry as well. Obviously, we have the touch screen now, and maybe we can pan over to that after. The touch screen is great. You can use it just like a smartphone. The connectivity, the reliability is perfect, but the big thing is obviously the screen size as well. So it's not going to impede your vision, which you need to look out from the cockpit. It's perfectly placed ergonomically. It's just a beautiful flow now to the entire cockpit.
Yeah, and I see. Yeah, the gesture controls, that's a new addition as well.
It is. The gesture controls are a really nice feature. Some may call it gimmicky, but again, it just creates a oneness with the driver and the machine. And you can actually create your own sign language for the car, so it recognizes that. Simply, if you don't want to take somebody's call, you can wave it away, you know, say if the girlfriend calls or something. But easily to turn up the volume just with a turn of
every cast after you was thinking
a turn of the fingers. Really neat stuff. Like, this is very progressive, and this is the way that BMW's going. This is the future of the technology. So
perfect.
Yeah,
looks great. I noticed the dash not overly cluttered, but again, you know, it's just a nice evolution from what we've seen in the F10. This being, of course, the F90, the latest generation.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, the BMW is timeless in that sense. I mean, they don't want to really overwhelm the user. They've really created the perfect ergonomical environment for power, performance, luxury, and comfort. BMW's always been simplistic in terms of its design, and there's no question there's been some big upgrades, but it's not going to be totally unfamiliar to you if you've been in a BMW at any time. So yeah.
No, it looks great. I see. It looks like we have you know, a leather wrap on the dashboard. Is this an upgrade, or is that?
This is going to be one of the standard things, especially for the new M5. Obviously, the extended trim. You have leather all the way up the dashboard, all the way up the sides of the car on the door frames. But yeah, the dash here, right up to the windowsill, is all beautifully hand stitched leather. So
perfect. Yeah, looks great.
It is. It's a beautiful car.
Anything worth mentioning on the iDrive itself, the controls? I notice it's you know, it's a lot nicer to use. It's a lot cleaner than, you know, and I like to make reference to my E60 M5, which is one of the early generations of the M-Drive or iDrive, and it's not nice. It's delayed, it's pauses, the graphics are sloppy. This is much, much nicer.
Yeah, instantaneous, I would call it. There's a seamless transition between the touch and what is displayed here on the display screen, on the LED screen. The ceramic controls obviously feel a lot nicer in your hands, and you can even scroll on this, something that they adopted early in 2014. They have just kept on getting it better and better and better, but the ceramic controls are a really nice feature. It just, your hand naturally goes right over to here. Like I said, the ergonomics are smartly engineered. So.
Perfect. Yeah. Now I notice there's a lot of adjustability in, you know, with these controls. There's other controls here. We've got hill assist, but more importantly, the real meat and potatoes with an M car is the adjustability on the performance settings.
Right. Very, very true. Obviously, you can adjust things like your suspension, your steering, the transmission, the shift points, how the engine performs on the fly. We can change the setup as we're driving. So that's what these ceramic controls here are on the side. Obviously, this is a brand new shifter that's come into effect. The styling, the way that your hand grips around the shift is awesome now. Beautiful redesign. You can adjust everything, like I said, on the fly, but you can also set it up for presets so that you can just, and we'll take a look at that later, how it integrates with the steering wheel.
Perfect. I noticed you had mentioned as well with that, I mean, you can alter the shift speed or the shift points very easily, like you say, right? Park, it's all integrated in one control. It's very clean, and it's attractive as well. It doesn't hurt that it's even been ergonomically improved, but also cosmetically.
For sure, I agree with you.
It also has the high quality steering wheel as you'd expect in nothing but an M car, of course, and the M buttons that are fully programmable for your sports selection settings, of course. The new stick shift in the 8-speed auto here is totally new, totally revamped, and you'll notice the shift speed settings, the buttons are adjustable on top. The cockpit, wow, leather from top to bottom, high quality door panels. You've noticed the speaker on the top left, high quality speaker system, and trim is second to none as well. Leather interior from top to bottom, and the back seats are typical for a 5 Series BMW. Lots of room for everybody, 3 people in the back, of course, and M badging everywhere in this machine. Beautiful touches, as well as the seatbelt webbing you've noticed as well.
Thanks again, Jeff. That was an absolutely phenomenal ride, and I was definitely not disappointed. As a matter of fact, this car was a lot more than I thought it would actually be.
Absolutely, just an extreme machine that we're happy to and have the pleasure of selling here, and it's going to bring you lots and lots of joy. Thanks a lot for sharing your time.
Thanks again, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. Very, very quick.